Hi everyone! Welcome to our YouTube channel, Research Ready and Student Matters Hub by Doc Lynn. Ang i-discuss natin ngayon at yung mga series ng ating lesson videos has something to do with quantitative research design. In the past, meron akong lesson video about descriptive survey, which I considered as the most common design or methodology used in quantitative research. This time, ang i-discuss naman natin ay yung tinatawag dating descriptive correlational research. Ang correlational research ay ginagamit pag gusto mong malaman ang association or ang relationship ng dalawang variables sa iyong study. Pero gusto kong linawin, hindi ito experiment. Ang research design na ito ay non-experimental. It does not stop discussions or cause and effect. So, tinitignan lang natin kung ang dalawang variables ay may kinalaman sa isa't isa. So, i-discuss na natin ngayon kung ano ang ibig sabihin or kung ano nga ba ang key features at paano gagamitin ang descriptive correlational research. Magbibigay din tayo ng examples para mas madali niyong maintindihan. So, let us continue discussing about descriptive correlational. Ang ating objective ay maintindihan natin yung principles ng descriptive correlational research, pati na rin yung kanyang methods at applications. Uulitin ko lang, ang descriptive correlational research is one of the methodological approach sa quanti dahil gusto nating ma-describe yung relationship between naturally occurring variables without altering them. So, wala tayong gagawin sa ating variables, pero gusto natin na malaman yung relationship nilang dalawa. Wala tayong experiment na gagawin kapag tayo ay nagde-descriptive correlational. Define muna natin ang descriptive correlational research. Ang descriptive correlational research describes and analyzes the relationships between variables without manipulating them. So, na-emphasize ko na ito many times na ang correlational research ay hindi experimental. So, this is non-experimental and you don't manipulate your variables. What you do is only observe the natural relationships and patterns in data. Now, what are the key characteristics of correlational research? Number one, it is a non-experimental in nature. Meaning, wala tayong variables na minamanipulate or kinokontrol. Example, kung meron kang study or observational study of public transit used. Ang scenario, si researcher, in-observe niya kung papaano yung mga tao gumagamit ng public transportation system in a particular city. Tapos, nire-record niya yung data on the number of passengers at different times of the day. Pati yung frequency ng various routes, tsaka yung kanyang passenger behavior. Example, kung sila ba ay nagbabasa habang nakasakay o may gamit ba silang smartphone. Ngayon, paano nagpi-fit ang descriptive correlational research sa example na ito? Yung researcher, hindi siya nagmamanipulate ng variables. Nag-observe lang siya at nagdo-document siya ng existing behavior at patterns. This is purely observational and descriptive of current practices. Now, ano yung descriptive aspect? It focuses on describing variables and data collected. So, ganun natin ini-explain yung sinasabi nating non-experimental nature. Wala tayong ginagawa or minamanipulate or kinokontrol dun sa ating study. Ikalawa na key characteristics ng correlational research, ito rin bukod sa ito ay non-experimental in nature, it is also a descriptive aspect. Ang focus ng research natin ay dinidescribe lang natin yung variables at saka yung mga data na na-collect natin. Example ng scenario sa pamamagitan ng key features na ito or base sa key features na descriptive aspect. Kunyari ang scenario, mayroong isang company at gusto nilang mag-conduct ng employee satisfaction every year. Yung report nila, ang kailangan nila is yung detailed statistics on job satisfaction, pwedeng work-life balance, compensation. So, itong data na makukuha nila, magpo-provide ng overview kung paano ang pakiramdam o nararamdaman ng mga empleyado sa aspeto ng kanilang trabaho. No, ba't siya naging descriptive aspect? Kasi yung focus nito ay sinasummarize niya at dinidescribe niya yung mga data na pero hindi niya iniimbestigahan yung relationship between different variables. So, nakakapagbigay siya ng clear picture ng employee satisfaction as they currently stand. So, there is no manipulation of variable. So, let's summarize. One of the key features or number one key features of correlational research, it is non-experiment. Number two, it's descriptive aspect. Number three, it's correlational aspect. Ang correlational research examines associations between variables. So, ito na yung specific example natin dito sa research na to. Kunyari, ang inyong study is yung exercises frequency and stress level. So, gusto nating malaman kung meron bang relationship ang frequency ng exercise ng respondents natin sa kanilang stress level. So, magagather ka ng data on how often people exercise each week and their reported stress levels. Gagamit ka ng statistical techniques para malaman mo yung correlation between the two variables. Ang exercise frequency ang iyong independent variable at ang dependent variable mo is yung stress level. Now, bakit siya mag-fit sa correlational research? Kasi yung study na to, ini-examine niya yung relationship ng two variables. One is the exercise frequency and the other one is the stress levels. Tinitignan ng researcher kung associated ba itong dalawa. Ang kanyang goal ay malaman kung if more frequent exercise is related to lower stress. But, I'll repeat, it does not involve manipulating any variables. So, correlational research is non-experimental. It has its descriptive aspect. Thirdly, it has a correlation aspect which examines the associations between variables without manipulating them. Meron tayong types of data collection pag gagamit tayo ng correlational research. Pwedeng surveys and questionnaires. So, nagko-collect tayo ng mga self-reported data or mga empirical data. Pangalawa, pwede namang observations. Nagre-record tayo ng behaviors or events sa natural na konteksto nila. Pwede rin naman yung mga existing records na meron tayo, pwede nating i-analyze yung data that already exist. Hindi na tayo magkakandak ng study or magagather ng data through going to your respondents, pero ang gagamitin natin ay yung mga existing records lamang. Para mas madali nating maintindihan ang correlational research, tignan natin yung mga types ng correlation or intindihin natin yung correlation aspect nitong research na to. I'll repeat, correlation measures the strength and direction of the relationship between two variables. I'll repeat, yung strength and direction ng relationship between two variables. So, po pwedeng one, meron tayong tinatawag na lumabas sa inyong study na positive correlation. Ibig sabihin, yung variables nyo move in the same direction, both dependent and independent variables. Pag negative correlation naman, yung dalawang variables, tatlo or ilang variables man yan, they move in opposite directions. At pag sinabi naman nating no correlation, there is no discernible relationship between or among variables. Paano ba mini-measure ang correlation? So specifically, magbibigay lang ako ng isang example bago paano mini-measure ang correlation sa pamamagitan ng statistical tool. Pero marami tayong statistical tool na pwedeng gamitin para ma-measure natin yung correlation. Specifically, dito sa discussion na meron tayo, ang ginamit ko ay Pearson's Correlation Coefficient or yung R. Ang Pearson's Correlation Coefficient, ang results niya nagre-range from negative 1 to 1 or 1.0. Ano ba ang interpretation niyan? Kapag ang lumabas sa yung study is 1, as in 1 or 1.0, there is a perfect positive correlation. So, iisa ang direksyon ng mga variables na meron ka. Kapag nag-i-increase yung isa, ay nag-i-increase din yung isa. Pangalawa, negative 1 or perfect negative correlation. At ang pangatlo ay 0 or no correlation. Okay, magbigay tayo ng example. Ang ating mga variables ay height and weight. At ito yung ating scenario. Researchers measure the height and weight of a group of individuals and calculate the Pearson's Correlation Coefficient. So, nag-exist na yung condition. Wala tayong gagawin kasi this is non-experimental. Sa calculation natin, if the Pearson's R value is found to be 0.85, ang indication nito ay merong strong positive correlation between height and weight. So anong ibig sabihin nito? This means as height increases, weight also tends to increase. So there is a high positive correlation. Iisa ang direksyon ng ating variables. Ano yung interpretation natin kapag ang result ay 0.85? Kasi ang highest natin is 1.0. 1 would indicate a perfect positive correlation. Example, height and weight in a perfectly controlled study where height always increases proportionally with weight. Kung negative 1 naman, would indicate a perfect negative correlation. Ibig sabihin, if as one variable increases, the other always decreases proportionally. So magkaiba sila ng direksyon. And 0 would indicate no correlation o walang relationship between height and weight. These are the advantages and limitations of correlational research. For the advantages, ang correlational research identifies relationship without experimental manipulation. So nakikita natin yung relationship without leading into causation or cause and effect. It is also useful for studying variables that cannot be controlled. And part of its limitation is that it cannot establish causation or cause and effect. And it can lead to the risk of spurious or false correlations. Meron ako mga example dito ng title ng correlational research at i-identify din natin yung kanilang independent tsaka dependent variable. 1, relationship between daily exercise and stress levels in college students. So, ang ating independent variable ay yung daily exercise na pwede nating i-measure in hours per week. At ang ating dependent variable ay yung stress levels. It measured through a standardized test questionnaire. So, kung mas marami ba ang ating daily exercise ay bumababa ba o tumataas ang ating stress levels. Second, correlation between sleep duration and academic performance in high school students. Ang ating IB ay sleep duration. So, it can be measured in hours per night. While ang ating DB ay yung academic performance. Next is associations between social media as used and self-esteem among young adults. Ang IB natin ay yung social media, which can be measured by hours spent per day, at ang dependent variable naman natin ay yung self-esteem, which can be measured using a self-esteem inventory. Another example is the link between job satisfaction and employee turnover interventions or intentions in tech companies. Ang IB natin, yung job satisfaction natin, at ang DB ay yung employee turnover intentions. Another title is examining the relationship between parental involvement and children's academic success. Ang IB natin ay yung parental involvement, which can be measured by frequency of involvement activities, while ang DB natin ay yung children's academic success, which can be measured by academic performance reports. So nakita natin dito sa mga title na meron talaga tayong mga variables na gusto nating i-lead into looking into their relationship. But it's not causation or cause and effect. We are going to know or establish the association of these variables. I hope na nabigyan kayo ng idea ng lesson video na ito kung ano nga ba ang descriptive correlational research. So pag meron kayo ngayong mga research questions, malalaman nyo na kung ano ba ang pwede nyong gamitin at kung ang descriptive correlational research ba ay tumutugma sa inyong research study. Uulitin ko, ang descriptive correlational research is non-experimental. Ito ay isang type ng quantitative research design or methodology na pwede nyong gamitin kapag gusto nyong establish yung relationship or yung association or correlation ng dalawang variables sa inyong study. Please like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. Don't forget also to share this lesson video with others who are now doing their research and maybe quantitative or mixed methods ang kanilang research at pwede nila itong magamit. Always remember, we unlock insights to empower your minds. Thanks for watching everyone and see you on our next lesson video. Bye-bye!